Alright, so for this TR, I would like to talk about the educational system, our values, and how they were important, like in the Renaissance. Um, so in some schools today, education's important everywhere, but they have different types of education that that certain schools go by, even colleges today. The colleges kind of go through the same program. Like you said, I don't know what schools are called. Um, Hampton Sydney, Hampton Sydney College. They go through this program. They go through like the re- like they like their whole curriculum is based on like the Renaissance and all that stuff. Um, so So yeah, any society that like values education has its fundamental values and requires you to learn certain stuff. Um, the system of the Renaissance education was very successful and survived. It's still around today. So pretty much what it is that everyone was required to be a different trait of like everything. Like they could learn a little bit of everything, so that if there was a problem, like they had to conquer, that they had a subject. They learned each subject to conquer the problem. Um, so they were required to learn a lot of language and writing and curriculum like that. Especially Latin and Greek quotations. Um, and they studied and mastered the ancient writers. They pretty much like their message was that like you could do anything as long as you had the knowledge of everything. Like you could do whatever. Like whatever tackled you, you could do it as long as you put your mind to it and you studied like a bit of everything. Like you knew what you were doing in a trait of everything. So no matter what came, you would conquer it. So how this all like started was that this started like during the Renaissance when boys were taught at home. Those who were wealthy had elite classes and tutors with their own households. Um, so to start off, boys were introduced to Latin grammar about at the age of 5. Grammar was discussed. So pretty much Latin could be like a Spanish today, like how Latin was so popular and how Spanish is so popular here in the U.S. It was like a large alternate second language, in response to like their native language to where they're from in Europe. So they pretty much practice just communication and skill in grammar, and the standard Latin grammars were continuously used. They were continuously used to educate the boys a millennium later, so this lasted a pretty long time. So pretty much after a boy has acquired enough knowledge to be able to read, he would start reading like books with Latin, like Caesar and Vulgate, and other difficult texts. This was around like the age of 10, 11, like when they've mastered Latin. So one popular book that they read was called the Aeneid, and the Aeneid was mythological history of Italian people. So pretty much then afterwards, after they mastered languages, they went into the maths and sciences at 12 or 13. Modern curriculum, they started off in science and some rules based by theories at that point. But they mainly focused on arithmetic out of the math and science part. So pretty much boys who had whose family was a merchant. Like if you had like generations of family members doing a specific trait, you most likely were gonna do the exact same thing. So boys that had merchants as family members pretty much had to know arithmetic to be merchants. Geometry was taught as well on the side. Many boys were taught astronomy as well. That's in regards to science, because studying, they focused on the stars, because that focuses mainly on direction and like ancient gods and religion. So all that kind of tied together. So yeah, pretty much they focused on a bit of everything, so that no matter what came their way, that they could conquer whatever. Again, what you said in class and what it's here, it's like mainly wealthy people used the system of education in the Renaissance. Like not many had to be wealthy to receive a quality education. But yeah, so what else is there? So yeah, after I left this out, after Latin, other languages were introduced, such as Greek. So pretty much like no matter where they went, or they would have an education to know. I guess that was a mindset, but it's the same thing for everything else. But that really was a mindset that they would have. They would know whatever came their way. So yeah, what really stuck out to me is that this education system is so effective that people still use it today. It's still used throughout some schools, like universities, and the belief that everyone has to learn a bit of something to do well in the real world. So pretty much after their education, like they were ready to go. It says by their late teens, early 20s, like to get a simple job. But if they wanted to continue their education, they could, using the same education system, just learning a little bit about everything. But yeah, this is the educational system of the Renaissance, and this is my TR. Thank you.